serious definitions for the word language. So let's look at a few of them. First, we have language. We say here is the system of words or signs that people use to express thoughts and feelings for each other. That's the first definition we have here for language.
Okay.
Followed by this one, which is any one of systems of human language that are used and understood by a particular group of people. And I like the last one, which I think we can use to say words of a particular kind. Words of a particular kind.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that flows into our topic for today. Like I said, respectful language, once again. And as Jackson just gave us our inspirational quote for the day, and he also gave us the definition, he focused on a particular part of the definition. So to highlight the part of the definition that Jackson focused in on, I want to read a little statement from you, read a little statement to you all. The statement is from a group in the U.S. that works with disabled individuals. So here's what the organization said. The organization said, imagine living your whole life always having to explain why the words that people use are hurtful and offensive to you. Teachers, co-workers, friends, and family need to know how the words and phrases they use make you feel. Maybe we haven't learned to think of ourselves or other people with disabilities as proud individuals. People with disabilities want respect and acceptance. Many people who do not have a disability now will have one in the future. Let me read that again. Many people who do not have a disability now will have one in the future. Okay? Others will have a family member. Others may have a family member or a friend who will become disabled. If you become disabled in your lifetime, how do you want people to describe you? If a family member or a friend becomes disabled, how would you want them to be treated? Disability affects all people. Okay, so like I said, that came from an organization in the U.S. that works with disabled individuals. And I think the organization was, they hit the point. At some point in time in life, all of us may become disabled.
Sure.
Yeah. And what is the type of language that we use to describe individuals with disabilities? And we see that a lot in Liberia. We see that a lot on the continent of Africa. We see the way that people describe individuals with disabilities, and we see how they do it in a very negative way. I know we've talked about it a few times here on the program, but we've never had an opportunity to really focus in on it, because there's a lot of words, Jackson, that people use to describe different individuals with disabilities. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go through a few of the words today, and since Jackson is a journalist, Jackson has traveled around Liberia, so he's had the opportunity to hear different words that have been used to describe people in the disabled community. And later on in the show, we'll open up the phone line. So if you are disabled, or maybe you have a family member that's disabled, or if you just want to share your thoughts about the topic, we'll open up the phone lines later on, and you'll be able to do that. So Jackson,
yeah.
One term that we hear a lot when a person's in a wheelchair, okay, yeah. When a person's in a wheelchair, how do people in the street typically describe that person?
Well, for me, I've said that too as well. I used to, and they said crippled people or crippled person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we know that cripple is no longer a word that's accepted. It's not a universal word that's accepted any longer.
It's kind of offensive.
It is offensive, and yeah. The way people say it, they're not saying it
dying on a particular person. They're not saying it in a respectable manner.
Of course.
You say, look at that crippled person. I think she's trying to beg for some money.
Yeah.
You see, like that.
And
so we need to get away from those kind of words, I think.
Exactly. So yeah. There's a lot of organizations that work with the disabled, okay, and there's a lot of organizations that have came out with words that are appropriate to use when you talk about individuals with disabilities. But there's one guideline that everybody follows, is respect. There's certain words that you say, it's not what you say, but how you say it.
Sure.
You see? And a lot of times when people are describing the disabled individuals, or individuals, let me correct myself, individuals in the community that are disabled, they say it in a very negative way. So like you say, crippled person.
Crippled person.
So the correct term to use would just be disabled person.
Disabled person.
The person is disabled. Okay? So what about this one? I'm sure a lot of people will have something to say about this. And you laughing because you already know.
And Rita, before we move forward,
I
think our society to a larger extent need to be educated on this kind of thing, so that we can move away, because disabled people are just the same kind of human being we are. Yeah. So we need to graduate and educate more of our people on the kind of language or words of disabled communities.
Exactly. And like when I read the statement above, it said that at some point in time in life, you may have a family member that's disabled.
You can
your
tell.
wife, your child, you don't know what may happen. And it's not just the way the person is born, maybe an accident took place. And if you're in a street and you hear somebody saying these things, it will offend you as well. So the next word I want to get to, or the next type of disability, is if a person is deaf.
Yeah. That
okay.
one. Oh,
if a person is deaf.
Reader, that one is widely used across the country. Even educated people do across our society.
Okay, so what is widely used?
They normally say deaf and dumb.
Okay.
What?
Deaf and dumb. Deaf and dumb. So the person is not only deaf,
not only deaf, but they are dumb.
Wow. And I'm sure all of us have heard it before. Okay, so besides deaf and dumb, here in Liberia, what's another term that we use?
They call you bobo.
Okay.
Those things like that. They call you, you don't talk. So because you don't talk and you don't hear, so they call you bobo, or they call you deaf and dumb. And especially, particularly bobo.
That's the main one.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of negative thoughts that come along with that word.
The word in itself is negative.
The word in itself
Where
is negative. Did that word originate from? Can you do some research and come back to us?
I think we need to do that where Liberians are just kind of unique people, our unique society, where they create their own word and try to pin away the way society, the way they see it, or the way they look at things. Yeah. So I think that bobo thing was just created within the Liberians, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they just get used to it and calling people. So once you can talk and you cannot hear, they call you your bobo person. Bobo. Yeah.
Okay, so before I make a comment about that, I also want to let you all know that we are live on Facebook as well. We're live on our Facebook page, Williette Safehouse. If you want to watch us live, if you can't listen to us, you can come onto our page and watch us live. Okay, so those particular words that we use to describe deaf individuals, those are they're offensive.
Sure.
They're very offensive. The fact that anybody is even deaf and dumb. Why is it that, and I believe that the generations ago, when the deaf community did not have the opportunity to get educated, a lot of times people just believe they can't hear, so there's no interpreters, there's nobody to sign, there's nobody to teach them. So because of that, they're dumb. And I think they put those two words together. I'm just guessing now. We'll have to do some serious research and come back to you all. But I truly believe, I know a lot of the equipment that we've seen in recent time for the deaf community, hearing aid, interpreters that can sign, because you need to know sign language to communicate, or you'll have to write out the information. But back in the olden days, they didn't have a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. So
I'm sure when they would see the person couldn't hear them, they immediately thought, okay, this person is deaf and they're dumb. So we understand that that's not correct. When you're looking at, or when you're talking about the deaf community or individual within the deaf community, you can say that they're deaf or they're hearing impaired. So hearing impaired or they're deaf. Okay? So the next one, and we see a lot of this around Liberia. You'll see a lot of this around the world.
Yeah.
It's not just in Liberia that I've heard people describe this before. If somebody is going through some mental disabilities.
Yeah.
What do we call it in the street if we seen it walking around?
Crazy people.
Quick.
Quick to do that.
Quick.
Look at that crazy woman. Look at that crazy man, and like that.
Quick.
I think we need to be more educated, like I said, and I'll continue to say. There's more education more education needs to be around this kind of conversation, so that our people can get to understand that there are certain things we are doing, or certain things we used to do or we're doing are not the right way, but we can rather do it like this. And I think by that it can help our disabled community. Because I tell you for a fact, of I can say to people, every enabled person is a potential disabled person. You cannot tell. You cannot tell what will happen to you in the next few minutes or few seconds.
Exactly.
So you need to be respectful to these kind of people, so that tomorrow when you are in this kind of position, or your relative of yours is in such a position, you can also be able to address them or treat them properly. They are just human beings like us. It's conditioned.
So let's say this, because a lot of times people would say, well, the woman crazy or the man crazy because they're walking around, the way they dress,
recklessly,
the way they that kind of
smells,
way, they smell that kind of way,
care less about themselves, you know. So
here's the thing though, we're not encouraging you to go and interact with the person. Let's be realistic. We do not want anybody to get hurt, and you do not know mentally what's going on with the person, and you don't know what they're capable of. My mother's a nurse, and she always says that we have to be careful with the way that we work along with people. You have to be careful. You want to help, but there's a right way and there's a wrong way to help, and you have to be mindful, because we are not doctors. If we see an individual with a mental illness, because that's the right way you will say it. You won't say the person crazy or they're mad or insane. You won't use that. Mental health condition, mentally in their brain, something is going on with them, and something allowed that to happen. Something happened within their life. Maybe they were introduced to drugs, maybe they were introduced to other substances. Things happen within human beings' lives, and when those things happen mentally, your brain, you start having different challenges, and we see you in the street and we just call you crazy and we think you're good for nothing. In reality, if you were to get the right assistance, I know people, Jackson, I don't know if you know anybody, but I know people for a fact who have had the opportunity to go and get assistance, and now they're on the right type of medication and they function in everyday life. They're walking around the street right now. They're walking around the street right now.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of seeing a person and thinking they're not capable of doing anything, that's incorrect. That's incorrect.
I do know somebody like that too, that used to be somewhere around Broad Street and around the finance ministry. I can get his name. I don't want to do that, but I know a guy like that. But now he's now refined, and he's a better person now. He's in society.
Yeah.
So, but he used to be like a mental ill person that used to be in the street.
Yeah.
Like we say, crazy person used to be in the street and acting in a way that is not accepted or unacceptable in society, which will equate to that of being crazy. Yeah.
And there's a way to educate people and still relate to them. Okay. So let me give you an example. We went to last year. We had a event that we went to, an NGO event, and while we were there, some kids came up to the stand, our stand. They came up to the stand to find out more information about Williette Safehouse and what we do. So we were explaining to them that we work with the disabled community, and they were just looking at us. They didn't know what was happening. When we said disabled people, we were showing them pictures, and they said, oh, then they started naming it. They started naming it.
So you see.
They started naming it. But this was the thing. After they were done, we went person by person. We explained to them, you don't use this word to describe the person. You need to use this word instead. So it's okay for the person to walk up to you, or for you to have a conversation, and you have to use the old-fashioned word deaf and dumb, but then you correct them. You let them know this is not the word that we use any longer, you know? So, ELWA 94.5 FM, Williette Speaks. We are live from 11:30 to 12 o'clock. Our topic for the day, respectful language, part 1. We would love to hear your stories. We want to hear your thoughts. You can give us a call in at 0777-945-945. You can call and join in on the conversation. Maybe you've experienced people in the street calling you negative words and you want to share your story, or maybe you have other thoughts, so call in. We have a caller. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Williette Speaks. Please share your thoughts.
I want to commend you guys for the brilliant topic this morning.
Thank you.
You know.
You haven't called your name yet, though.
Yeah, please tell us
your name and where you join us from.
Yeah, sorry. I'm Abraham Nika.
Okay.
I'm calling from GSA Kisikiam.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, in Liberia, like my brother said, that people attached to their friends, attached to individuals, what they see them go through, or what they are at that present time. Like for an example, see the person is mentally disturbed, and they call them crazy person. You know, like the word bobo. That guy is a bobo. You know, the name itself brings trauma to somebody. You know.
Yeah.
So you know, many of us we don't take in consideration these things. We just put a name on people. Like my sister and brother. I am a garbage collector. I collect garbage.
Okay. And thank you for that. Wait. We need to
Before
thank
you go further, thank you so much for that. And I know they call you the dead man, right?
Exactly.
This is just Liberia. This is just Liberia.
Yeah. You don't say dead man. I'm not dead man. I'm dead taker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you want to just be calling me, just call me by my name.
By your name.
Exactly what I do.
What I do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we have to be decent. We have to be serious now. We have to be decent with our words because words are powerful. Words have effect on people.
I must agree with you.
Yes.
100%.
The atmosphere takes what we speak. So if you just look at a person because he is mentally disturbed or he's hurt, you just call him by what he is or how you see him. You just call him by how you see him. I don't think it's expedient for everyone.
All right.
Yes.
So I have to thank you.
Thank you.
This topic.
Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so that caller was 100% right.
He's a perfect example of what we are talking about here, and he's a victim. So we understand that our society is not sophisticated to such level in where we can be able to attach it. But still, so now that we have started this conversation, I think we just need to continue it so that our people can get to understand that this is what it is, unlike the way we used to do it before. I think then we might be getting somewhere. Yeah. Even though we agree that that's the condition, you've seen the person. Okay.
We have another caller. Hello, caller. Hello. Yeah, we lost our caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think with this kind of conversation and the way we've taken it, it just need to be continued so that our people can get to understand what it's all about and they can try to do it the right way. Yeah.
And the thing that I hear a lot is, well, this is Liberia. We get that a lot.
Yeah.
Jackson, we've been getting
this too is Liberia.
This too is Liberia. Yeah. Okay, well this thing we're talking about, this Liberia. Too is Liberia.
Yeah.
So we need to accept this one too. Because who gets to decide? Seriously, Jackson, who gets to decide what's a part of Liberia? Is it not the citizens? Is it not the citizens? Is it not the citizens? So the citizens should have an opportunity to speak and say what's a part of Liberia. And this is going to become a part of Liberia. The right to be described the right way within your community, within your country. You don't want to be walking down the street and you holding the hand of your small child, you walking down the street and you see your small child. And your child is deaf. And they call your child something, negative. That would hurt you.
Sure.
That would hurt you.
It will hurt anybody. It will hurt any person.
Let me give out the number one more time. We have a few callers. I'm trying to call in 0-777-945-945. 0-777-945-945. We have a few minutes left in the show, so if you have any comments, you can call in and share with us your thoughts. Jackson, have you ever had a situation where you heard a group of individuals calling a disabled person a name and they got offended by it. Have you ever experienced that? I know we have team members that are blind. They serve along
we
with
have
us.
team members. Yeah, we have team members that are blind.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the girl from the deaf school there. Love is one of our members, I think, and you see how intelligent Love is. So can you see a person like Love and say she's deaf and dumb? No, Love is educated. Despite she has some hearing impairment and she can speak, but Love is intelligent. Love anything you write to Love and she can write back to you and tell you what is it.
Yeah.
Sure. So we need to get away from this kind of language or these kind of languages of people within a disabled community.
And there's times where Love, you know.
I have another caller.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Our caller has left us.
Just let's.
Okay, let's go down the list a little bit more to share some more information. We have the caller trying to call back. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Good morning, caller.
I don't know if it's accepted to call 2 times.
Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead, sure.
You the same guy, Abraham, right?
Yeah,
This is
Abraham.
Abraham again.
Okay.
I just called.
Yes.
I want to give an example of a man who is in my church. Mission for Today, Holy Church in Nicholtown there. They call him Peter Safehouse. Peter Safehouse is a very intelligent individual. He is the head praiser there now in Mission for Today. He's blind.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah. Sometimes, the people in the church, one thing I like about them, they give respect to him. They don't just say, that man, they will always tell you, that man over there. Or they will say, the man I was thinking just now, the praiser, the head praiser.
Yeah.
And then you will know who he is. But actually, they know that he has an eye problem. But they won't say, that man will be eye problem.
Yep.
Because the thing itself is effective. I think it gives problems. It's like out of the condition. There are some people that will get traumatized because they will be reminded when you call them about how they are looking. So once you say, like, for an example, they got, you don't hear and you don't speak, but I'm telling you, she sees. When you show a sign, like you put your finger to your head and just pull it up, you will know that you are telling it you stupid or you are not sound. You are deaf and dumb, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
I'm telling you, he will get offended.
He will.
Wants to do something to defend himself.
He will.
Yes, such an issue, I would like to tell the Liberians, we have to be very careful. We have to love one another. There's some people that do it intentionally.
Yes.
Like the example the sister said, if you are working with your case and someone just look at your case because he or she is disabled, just call them by what they are.
Yeah.
I think you will get offended.
You will. You will.
Put it in another man's shoe now.
You will get
then
offended.
You yourself, you are then offended is called with such name or such way. Then I think the respect should go to the person that you want to call that way that you are then offended by.
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our caller, Abraham, came back strong with some more points.
Yeah, so these are kind of people we would like to to help spread these kind of messages to our people out there, so that they can help in order to better our society and the disabled community at large.
Yes. Okay, so Williette Speaks here on ELWA radio station. We're here every Monday from 11:30 to 12 o'clock. We talk about different topics dealing with the disabled community. And today our topic was respectful language, part 1. So it is time for us to leave. Jackson, final thoughts.
Yeah, what I think, final thought,
I know there's a lot you want to say.
We as Liberians, we need to graduate. As Liberians, we need to graduate from using those kind of words that are very offensive to our disabled brothers and sisters.
Yes.
they are human beings like us, and we need to treat them with respect.
Yeah.
I think that's so far I can take.
Perfect. My final thoughts for today: be mindful of the individuals that you come into contact with, especially the disabled individuals, the way you treat them, the way you talk to them. If you do not know the individual's name, there's always a way to ask. We've gone over examples after examples. If the person can't hear you, you have a cell phone, you have a piece of paper, you can ask them. And show patience and love. And that's what we're here for, to be able to educate the public on how to be patient and love towards your brothers and sisters within the disabled community. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Please join us next week, same time, same place. All right.
But different group of people.
Different group of people. All right.
Bye bye for now.
Bye bye.